A heavy battle tank, you say? Interesting. Low battle value. Intrigued. Let's take a look at the Zhukov heavy tank, delivered to you by the same arms industries that produce the Demolisher and other tanks that I regularly play. Asking the question, as always, combined arms, tanks, complementing your mechs, complementing each other, infantry support. What role would such a tank play? Now, being a heavy tank, one of the things, of course, that I'm looking for is armor, absolute armor. We're going to see this with the tonnage. And as we advance in the tonnage, we kind of have this duality of we can get both decent armor and a wide variety of weapons based on the battle value. But often I look and say, is it necessary? Can you have a heavier tank that has an array of weapons that works, or really focused on one specific role? And by focusing on one specific role, it's going to leverage that over multiple turns if it has a decent amount of armor. And in my opinion, if it has a turret. Two examples we see of this would be the Demolisher at really close range and the PPC carrier, the Shrek, at more of a long type range. Although the Shrek to mount 3 PPCs, the armor is a little bit on the light side, but it's still that main focus. So we come in with the Zhukov, 2 autocannons, AC-10s, SRM 6-pack, heavy armor, and on a turret. And okay speed for what it is. Speed on a heavy tank, yes, it's important, but the fact that this has a longer range punch and it's on a turret, as we start taking those motive hits, it won't potentially be as bad, of course, barring a lucky hit. But then again, this is Battletech and anything could happen at any moment. So we have 2 autocannon 10s. That's going to be the primary focus. If you're in range, I'm taking that shot. It's got the redundancy. It's going to deal out the 10 points of damage. That's solid damage right there. A second thought would be, well, why not just upgrade to PPCs? You have the tonnage that cuts into armor. But more importantly, where I see this tank really shining, being a pain for your opponent, battle value. It's like 9, 10, 9, 20 battle value. A heavy tank with 2 autocannons and an SRM 6 for that buy-in. That means this thing is going to be on the table. You can field 2 easily as part of a support group at any point level. Scales up, you've got some consistent firepower. So every single turn, we're going to be shooting. The turret gives that full range, of course. And the SRM 6-pack is interesting. So I see this as a tank that exists really at 2 ranges. I mean, certainly can operate at 3 ranges. At longer range, you're going to have the autocannons. Then as you move to a more medium-ish type range, you're still going to have the autocannons. The SRM-6 is going to fire. And again, as soon as you're in range, you're going to fire. But the limited range of that means at that medium band, you're going to be at the long range for the SRM-6. As you move closer and get into the 6 range, you've still got the autocannons. But now we're into a question where whatever's moving against you, are they going to outmaneuver you, so to speak, or catch you in different directions? Hopefully we have some land support. But it does pack an interesting, consistent punch with those autocannons and with that 6-pack. Again, when combined with the armor, it's nothing, and I don't mean this, I mean this in a positive way, it's solid. It's nothing flashy about it. It's just going to move up on the table. It's going to fire every single turn. If you get 2 of these, those are 2 autocannons. At a certain point in the game, 2 6-packs firing out. And the biggest thing for me, being a tank enthusiast across the entire spectrum of wargaming, especially Battletech, that battle value buy-in is fantastic. Maybe you want to take some more expensive mechs, some more expensive toys, and you need that critical mass, and you need to balance things out. So you could take some heavier battle tanks from that perspective. Or if you're looking for consistent firepower matched with armor in bigger type games, you take 2 or 4 of these. Battle value isn't much of a buy-in, and that's a solid foundation. That's a solid group to advance or hold a certain point, especially if you can combine it with infantry, where units are going to want to stay away. SRM infantry units are going to want to stay away from that hornet's nest. That just means consistent firepower with those autocannons.